Hi y'all, it's Brad from Vego Garden. Today I want to talk to you about a few basics about LED grow lights. Now, when you're looking for an LED grow light, there's a few things you want to look for. Number one, full spectrum. Now, it used to be thought that plants only used a few of the colors in the light spectrum, but it turns out from recent science that plants use the entire spectrum, even all the way to UV. So when you're looking for an LED grow light, number one, make sure it's full spectrum. When we're talking about LED grow lights, there's a few things that plants need from LED grow lights. One is intensity, and the second is a time amount. So the intensity of the LED grow light is a combination of a few things. One is the power that's output from the LEDs, coupled with the distance that the LED grow light is from the plant itself. That's what gives you your intensity. Now couple that with the time that's given to the plant, and that's what really matters when you're talking about LED grow lights and plant growth. Now today, I have the Vego grow light here with me, and this has a few settings that I'd like to talk to you guys about. On the outside, it has a multiple angle mount where you can get up to 20 degrees angle out of the light. This is a magnetic mount that mounts to steel surfaces, or with the included plate can mount to any other surface, wood, plastic, anything like that. These are linkable lights, so you can link multiple lights together. They maintain their own settings when you link them together, so you can grow multiple settings at the same time. So we've got 5 different settings on this grow light, and each one has a different time and intensity. The highest is going to be the fruits with the longest amount of time and the highest intensity. The second is going to be your herbs. Now this is the same intensity with just a little lower time. And then after that, we go to the leafy, and then after that, we go to the seeds, and then finally the microgreens. Each one of those is going to have the same amount of time, but varying intensities, with microgreens being the lowest. So whether you have the Vego grow light or another LED grow light, you can apply these principles to growing indoors for better success. Today we're going to talk about seed starting. So there's a couple things I want to cover first before we get to the action. First, I want to talk about choosing seeds. So of course you want to choose the right seed for your climate and your season. You can choose between organic, open pollinated, or heirloom, and then as well as hybrid and GMO or non-GMO. So first, let's start with the big buzzword GMO. Now, luckily for most gardeners, most seeds on the market are not GMO seeds, and they're not available to the public. So that's good news. So let's go to the opposite of that, organic. Organic seeds are grown in an organic matter, meaning the plant that they're harvested from is grown organically with no chemical or synthetic inputs. Hybrids are a little different. Hybrids are when we take 2 plants, we breed those together for both their wanted characteristics, and we get a hybrid that has both the characteristics. Now the problem with that is the seed from that hybrid may not necessarily come true again, but that's okay because that's why we have heirloom. These seeds are seeds that will come true from seed, meaning that whatever the characteristics of the fruit was that you harvested the seed from, when you plant those seeds again, they're going to give you those same characteristics. Next, let's talk about choosing a seed starting mix. Now, you don't want to use regular garden soil. It's too compact and too heavy for this purpose. You want to use something light and airy that's easy for that seed radicle to dig down and begin that root system. So there are lots of seed trays on the market. Today I have the Vego line here with me. Now, there are 3 different sizes. There's the standard tray, the jumbo tray, and the giga tray. The standard is great for your small seeds, like your tomato starts or your lettuce. This is the jumbo. This is a well-rounded seed starting tray. You can do small seeds in here or larger seeds like your squash seeds. Finally, we have the giga. Now this is great for giant seeds like okra and pumpkins, but it's also good for up potting when you start in the standard tray. Once you get a great root system in here, you can transplant them into the giga tray and continue to build that root system before you're ready to transplant in the garden. Today, I'm gonna be using the standard tray and the giga tray to plant both my lettuce and my pumpkins. So now, we're gonna take these and fill them with soil. So now we have our trays filled with soil and we're ready to plant our seeds. So for these lettuce seeds, they're really small. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch a couple in my finger. I'm gonna go right over this cell right here and just sprinkle 3 to 4 seeds in there. And once I do that, I just kind of sprinkle a little soil on top, kind of move things around. They don't have to be planted very deep because of how small these seeds are. You can essentially surface sow them. I like to use multiples on these just so you can get the most success. So next, we're gonna move to the pumpkin seeds. Now, as you can see, these seeds are much, much bigger. So these are a little easier to sow. We're gonna just use one, and we're gonna press right on the top of the soil, and then press down about 1/2 inch, and then cover that hole up. All right, now that we've got our seeds planted, we're ready to water. What I like to do is put a little bit of water right where I planted that seed just to make sure that soil is nice and moist. But the majority of the water, you're gonna put into this Vego bottom tray, or any bottom tray. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna draw that water up into that soil and fill that entire cell with moisture. All right, next step is adding a humidity dome. Now this is the Vego 1020 humidity dome with the integrated vents. Now the purpose of this is to trap that moisture in there because when seeds are germinating, they need a nice, warm, humid, moist environment. As you can see, this 1020 humidity dome fits over our 2 giga trays as well as our standard trays. And there's even a recess in the top for the Vego grow light because if you don't have a grow shelf yet, it's got a recess for your grow light. So you've got an all-in-one seed starting set. So I have my seeds in this grow light garden. This is the 2-tier version of the tabletop. This comes with grow lights and waterproof shelves and fits great on a table or any kitchen surface. So we're gonna keep these humidity domes on these seedling trays until we start to see germination. Once we see the leaves pop out of the soil, we can go ahead and take these off and expose them to some fresh air. Now, once your seeds have germinated, you're gonna do a few things. If you've planted multiples, you're gonna go ahead and thin out those weaker seedlings and leave one strong seedling. Now, I like to take my trays of fully germinated plants, leave them outside under a covered patio for a week, and let them get used to the outside environment. Once you do that, they're ready to go into your garden bed. Thank you guys for joining me so much today starting these seeds, and stay tuned for updates as we watch for germination under these grow lights.